Selectmen meeting to order for Thursday, March 9th. I have two selectmen present, one selectman is out of town. Dave Knoll, for the record, is out of town. The town administrator is present. Recording for the citizens of Dunbarton is Mr. Lee Martell. Thank you, Lee. And I have some minutes, but I'm gonna, Justin, since you weren't here, I'm gonna table these minutes until, next week with Dave, because I want him to take a look at them. I didn't get any input from him, so I'm gonna table the minutes. There's nothing controversial about it, I just wanna have, the person who's here to have an opportunity to sign off on them.
Yep.
So this week's minutes are tabled. If anyone, Lean, if anyone wants to look at them during the week, it's,
I can post them as draft.
draft, you can do that, please.
John's here.
Okay, I'm gonna open up for, public comment first, back row first.
Yep, I'd like to thank Fred Mullen and Bob Martell for filling in for me, videoing these meetings while I was away.
Okay, so acknowledged, thank you. Bob, anything in the back row?
Not from me.
Chief, you on the agenda, anything for public comment tonight?
Couple things, I'll do the second round.
Okay, listen, I can recognize you today.
Yeah, I know, it's getting too itchy, too many gray hairs.
For the record, he was, had some facial growth, and I think it's had to take a double take on him, I didn't recognize him the other day.
Figured for town meeting, I should look presentable.
Oh, you looked better last week.
Front row, anything for the public comment? Nope. Okay, hearing none, we're gonna go right to town business. John Chardy, the town moderator's here, talk us through the election.
Great, thank you very much for allowing me to meet with you this evening, gentlemen. Just wanna recap where we're at with, Tuesday's town meeting and, so last week, unfortunately, I spaced it, forgot to hand out the scripts that I actually had. I did forward
Yeah,
them to
and
Lean.
they all have copies.
Everybody's got them?
Yep.
Yep.
Good. If you need another copy, let me know, and we have some.
Give them to John Reagan and Woody and
Yeah,
everybody else who's gonna speak.
Thank you. So that takes care of the script. We do know that all the articles on the agenda and for the day. Unfortunately, Mr. Dave Knoll is not here, but again, where Dave is on the ballot, he will not be, I will not allow him to touch any ballots that are filled out ballots, a completed ballot. So he can be I will be assigning him as a ballot clerk or something other than that. Go get coffee, go get water. That's, okay, that's my intention, and I will, share that with Dave.
I think he's expecting it.
Yeah, we don't need any questions, and it's just.
I did give him a hard time about him, campaigning outside, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Yeah, so, just, we're all adults. We have been in touch with Woody, Linda did text Woody what our desires are or what our needs are, as far as set up booths and whatnot. It is at 4 PM on Monday afternoon, we have the reign of the community center, and it's starting at 4 o'clock, and we will need your assistance, please, as well as David. Get things going up, because Woody is down a man that particular afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as COVID, technically the state is not requiring us to have, COVID dedicated areas and all that. However, I do intend to have at least 24 chairs set aside behind the gate, or behind the fence, saying, that way people don't feel like they can't stay, particularly for the meeting, yeah.
Like you did the last meeting.
Correct, yeah, but as far as any screens during the day, the supervisors of the checklist have indicated they don't care to have any. The ballot clerks, again, we did not have any in November. Again, it does make it difficult to hear, so.
Yeah, totally concur.
Yeah, the only reason we're gonna have a screen is so that people don't put their ballots into the box. That's a good deterrent, and I think we feel it works, and that's how we're gonna proceed with that. As far as any, people within the building during the day, again, Don Larson has asked to do some, flags across Dunbarton, right? That's
Reads
his-
across Dunbarton.
Yeah, reads across Dunbarton. The rec committee has asked to have a table to be able to, sell some, refreshments. we're gonna allow that, I will allow that, and the Brownies have asked to sell some cookies.
Are you gonna make it so one entry in and one entry out, or you're just gonna,
No, just.
similar to last time?
Similar to last time,
Okay.
but they will be put aside, they can set up at 5:30, I believe this will be.
5:30 Monday.
5:30 Monday, let us get our, majority of our stuff together.
How you want it?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. We are working on a schedule for persons during the day, breaks, meals, shifts. That way, again, if we have something, a running tally, or that way people know when their time is. And again, I think, cause we're gonna have a kind of a skeleton crew, not anticipating to be a real heavy, day, but it's always best to just have a schedule to.
We've ordered up some snow for you too.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, yeah. That's good. And lastly, I would ask that, Linda's gonna resend out the state videos, the Secretary of State has prepared some videos. And the one that I'm gonna ask that you gentlemen, if you could, take a look at, and Linda will resend it, is regarding ballot clerks. Because again, that's something that we're gonna need your assistance on throughout the day.
Okay.
Filling in those positions. And there are other ones, there's videos on reconciling at the end of the evening, but,
Affidavit ballots too,
yeah,
the new one.
that's right, yeah, affidavit ballots. One other thing too that we're gonna, I would like to continue the practice of is the over and under counting. Not knowing, again, if you recall, in November, it was that craziness about, because we're so corrupt and all that, everybody, we had to do the over and under ballot counts. My thought is, if we try to implement it now, when there's not a whole heck of a lot of ballots, and if we train people to do it
Good
now.
habit to create.
Right, it's a good habit, yeah, exactly. It's easier to say, hey, do we need to do it now again? It's easier to say, no, we don't have to do it, and then we can do away with it. And it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to do it with fewer ballots.
Yep.
So,
I understand the police department will not be doing the accounting, overseeing the accounting. You have another alternative.
yeah, if I could introduce John Record.
John?
Yep, John has gone through the training, the official training with Joe Miliotto and Jennifer.
You
He's
see the-
certified.
The checklist, you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm kidding.
Certifiable.
Yeah, certifiable. Yeah. We'll see on Wednesday morning whether or not he's certifiable.
Well, I think I'll plan to provide an assist, as I would do with Joe that day in that position.
Correct, but John's in charge.
Understood?
Yeah, we'll have to just tap the brakes a bit and.
Yeah.
Because it is.
It's
very-
always, the starting blocks are slow. We don't go rocket speed until we get a system down.
Yeah,
Maybe ask Jennifer to sit in too.
yeah, perfect,
Yeah.
yeah, because, yeah, again, Joe is instrumental in that role, and I think as a town, we need to get.
Since he's
more
not at this
people.
election, I was thinking of revoking the dedication. What do you think?
I was thinking not even recognizing.
No, thing is, we say that in jest.
Yes, yeah, all in fun.
Yeah.
So,
There is an appointment paper there for John.
I saw that, okay, great.
so, those are the things that I had on my list. Linda or Jennifer,
Oh.
anything that we missed?
The moderator covered most of it, and just wanna get back to those links for the webinars from the Secretary of State. Besides watching the ballot clerk ones, which will also help with the out checklist, cause Just said you're gonna get a taste of the checklist this time around. The other thing you might wanna watch, and I had to watch it twice just to get a good handle on it, is the affidavit ballots. And one of the reasons is that people may ask you questions about the process of affidavit ballots, because when you first hear it, it sounds like you're gonna get turned away. And I so want to assure voters they're not gonna get turned away. So the more you understand about the affidavit ballot process, the better it'll be if you're trying to, answer that for one of our
That's,
voters.
you're gonna make sure that we have a link in the video. so
That,
it's-
yeah, that link, that email, and I'm going to resend it, John's asked me to resend it. It will have links to all of their webinars.
Could you put those two on the very top, so we know those two that we have to watch?
Oh, I'm just gonna forward it, so you're gonna get it in the order that
Okay.
the Secretary of State sent it.
Okay.
But they did send us 5 affidavit ballot packets,
Okay,
so we're ready for 5 of them, and I'm sure we won't be using any one. Once you watch the video on the affidavit ballots a couple of times, you'll understand that we will probably not even need them, but we have to know the process in the event that that comes up.
In the Reader's Digest version of the affidavit ballot is, again, if somebody shows up and they say that they are a resident, they have to produce.
They have no photo ID if
Yeah.
they don't have it, and we can't verify it
Correct.
if there's somebody who
knows them,
is it, and it can't be,
Does not know them.
right.
This
right,
is,
it
yeah,
has to be, town clerk, moderator, or supervisor,
Correct.
those 3. Like a selectman can't say, oh yeah, I know who they are, it can only be town clerk, moderator, or supervisor, the checklist, but because I know so many people, it's never been a problem.
So, yeah, so again, that person shows up, nobody can verify it. They need to fill out the
Challenge
affidavit.
voter affidavit.
Yeah, and provide us documentation of who they are. Yeah,
I
So
gotta
it's-
read through it again,
Yeah, I know,
it's
it's-
a lot,
Okay,
a lot of stuff.
in the long run, they end up filling it out, we put it in the envelope, they send it to Concord, and then they have X amount of days in order to respond.
We send their
saying-
ballot to Concord, right?
Correct.
We send their
Yeah.
ballot in one of these special envelopes to Concord.
so
that
it
we
doesn't
will never see
disenfranchise
it.
them, it gives them an opportunity to vote,
Correct,
Right.
yeah,
Gives
and
them
then-
the opportunity.
but they have to do their part by sending something in.
exactly, afterwards, yeah. So again, Justin, yeah, you say you're a resident, yeah, okay, we'll allow you to vote, and,
Yeah.
but you gotta, after you leave, you need to still follow up with the state. And if they receive the backup, then they will let us know that, that your vote counted.
Right.
One thing that's kinda odd though is that by then,
The counting's over.
I was gonna say,
yeah, the
the
counting is
counting's
over.
So
and-
we will never have that as part of our numbers of, how many ballots were cast. But they'll probably just say, there was 1 or 2 or however many came back.
Yeah.
We'll never see them, and the only way we'll even know the results of it is if there's like a really close contest, then they'll have to take it a step further,
Yeah.
so.
Cause one thing that was kind of interesting that then we have discussed that is again, they had asked about the over and under votes. And that was a big to-do, but they still have not formally announced, okay, this is a result of all that. So they made us go through that aggravation, and I still haven't seen an official, okay,
Summary.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think it didn't amount to anything, but
Okay,
that was it.
okay, one question,
Yeah.
firearms? There was a question on firearms last election. Someone came in with a firearm, and he was asked politely not to bring it in, and he acknowledged, but technically, we can't refuse someone with a firearm. I just wanna make sure you're comfortable with
Well,
that.
one thing that gets kinda tricky though, Mike, is again, because it's the school.
Right,
So again, what is the school's policy on that?
it is not. So I think it's,
but it didn't matter, when we went to that training in Manchester, they said it didn't matter that it was a school, because it changed to a voting and
Yeah.
polling
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
That
It
it
does change
didn't,
to a polling
matter,
place.
it didn't matter that it was a school, cause typically, like you're saying, in a school, you can't have a
I
firearm.
just wanna make sure that we all on the same sheet. It is allowable, but
yeah,
common sense too. And then lastly, the buttons and all that kind of stuff, campaigning paraphernalia.
electioneering.
Electioneering is prohibited inside the building.
Correct, yeah. So again, it would be up to me to go up to them and say,
Right.
please remove it, or here, put on this old ratty shirt and
Yep.
cover it up.
And lastly, just to let you know, the electioneering signs and all that stuff cannot be left unattended and planted in the ground on the entryway in.
Correct.
Emphasizing that.
And I know that Joe was really helpful with, curtailing that, and it was helpful that he had a six arm on it, or whatever you wanna call it, on his belt.
But the thing is, Chief's gonna be in and out all day, he'll be coming around.
Yeah, we'll be, Officer Tompkins and I, on our respective shifts, will pop in, check in, and I gave Linda our dispatch number. If there's a problem, you need us, call that, or if it's an emergency, obviously call 911. But we just, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to keep up the presence like Joe did,
Understood.
but we will be around and available if we're needed.
Yeah, thank you. And Chief Bob, we're talking about it, somebody gonna be around Sunday, Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock is the school district meeting,
Yep, I'll speak with the officer about that.
if you would, please.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're gonna have a quiet day.
I think so too.
I
Especially
said
if it
the
snows.
menus went out,
Yeah, so that,
okay,
I'll get back
that
to
was the
you.
big
I'm sorry.
question.
Bring your cribbage board.
And weather-wise,
We'll
we're
let
supposed to
Chris.
have snow,
Yeah, you know, if, in the past, when the thing is, elections have been controversial, I would say, I'd be always in favor of postponing the snow, but even if we get a couple inches of snow, there's nothing controversial, and there's no challenges on the ballot to any great degree. I'm voting that we continue on, and now, you don't have to call it once, moderator,
I'll take it under advisement.
that's all it is.
we can't postpone the election.
No, it's not the election,
is
it's
the
the town
election, it's the meeting,
Yeah.
okay.
The thing is, we're there all day, I'd just like to get her done.
Yeah. On that subject, has there been any scuttlebutt?
No, I haven't heard anything, except, on the, a lot of people have been concerned about the school budget going up a lot. And there's a lot of, traffic on the, social media about the budget, and they want people to come out to hear the school budget, but nothing on the town side per se.
Not a word.
Not a word.
May I speak to that just very briefly?
Yep.
I did see in the community group, I was gonna bring it up in the public session, but this is a good time to do it. There is some misinformation going around about, the impact on the tax rate, and some people are, taking, for example, like the town operating budget only. They think that that gets added on to the existing tax rate, so taxes are gonna go up to like $28, $29 on the thousand. So I just bring it to your attention that there is some, as there is every year, some misinformation. I don't think it's malicious, but it's just people peruse through the town report and just add things up incorrectly.
And that's one thing, Chris, that's why I do not like social media.
I agree with you,
How
100%.
many people are here this evening,
That's right.
educating themselves
Mhm.
in the budget hearing, how many people are here?
Yep.
They have a lot more, their chest is much bigger behind the screen,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's nothing new. It's just
Oh,
something
yeah.
something I noticed.
you know.
And the thing is, as I say to people, you know, in my message you saw, I delivered the bad news. Yes, taxes are going up. And rhetorically I say, yes, we'd like to have someone at the end of a 911 call
Yeah.
to respond.
Oh, yeah.
And we may have one tonight. Okay,
I'm
Joe,
good.
thank you for coming in.
Anybody else?
Town clerk,
Thank you.
anything, any other last notes? Okay.
I'll sign that.
And,
Make a
we're
motion.
gonna make a motion to, appoint Jonathan Rickard of Dunbarton to the vacancy of ballot clerk in the town of Dunbarton. And I'll sign.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. You got a majority of votes, so we can make it official. Even if, gentleman wasn't here, we're still passing it.
Election day.
That way, I think, Linda, you can swear him in tonight.
Well, I might let Jennifer do that.
Okay, Jennifer, just take that.
Look at that.
I need that.
She's working on memorizing that, maybe just have this language say election official,
Yep.
just generic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
See you Monday.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Monday,
folks.
that's right. Yes, yeah, right.
Don't forget about Monday.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna continue the agenda. One of the things, this is for the benefit of Dave.
I was gonna look it up. Dave, oh, Jonathan.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is for the benefit of Dave. Dave asked about the solar panels, and are we saving money on solar, are we making any money on solar panels? And we see him every time we drop off our trash at the transfer station, for those who do that. And I just wanted to give a summary after a couple of years of doing this. what is the town saving now during the lease period? The lease period goes for, I think, 6 years, almost 6 years.
Yes.
We're about almost halfway through it, a little more than halfway through it. But right now, we make about $150 a month, or $1,800 a year, after we make the lease payment. So right now, those things are sitting out there doing nothing, and we're making a few dollars every month. Now, the thing is, after the lease period, we have an option to buy that out for $50,000. And once we buy that out, we'll save approximately $1,000 a month, or $12,000 annually. So it'll take about 4.2 years to pay off the $50,000. But we don't have to take the buyout. We can just continue to lease it and make a small amount, or we can put $50,000 up front, and we can just, shall we say, make the big dollars. So that's for David, he wanted some small things, but if we get any questions on that, Justin is gonna have a copy of this information, and if anyone asks us about this, it is making some money for the town. Not much, but a little bit, during the lease period. All right, I'm gonna talk about the mailbox items now. First of all, Dunbarton Elementary, gone out and posted, you got the Dunbarton Elementary School, bulletin went out. It's the annual one that goes to all residents before the school board meeting this year. It just talks about their budget proposal, and, I think it's worth reading it before the school board meeting this Saturday. It's posted on the bulletin board, I saw, thank you.
Out here.
Out here, yes. And operating budget increase is $2.83. Warrant impacts is, they have one warrant in there of 2 cents. Overall impact is $2.85 per thousand. And, just for the record, I went to the public hearing. The school board increases were essentially all brought into, were authorized by voters last year. There's a school bond, there's the pay raises for the school teachers, and we're in a contract with the Bow School District, which when they increase, we have to pay those increases for our children. And so there's nothing, I don't find any surprises in there, except inflation is eating into the budget a little bit there, and that reflects that. But a lot of it is, most of it is the bond payment on the school board.
And new students.
And new students. We actually have more students this year going to the Bow School, and that increases the bill.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Got an email from Woody Baum. Speakers in the town, now upstairs in the town hall library. Which speakers are those, Lean, he's talking about?
Dave said that they were in the basement. Fred Mullen asked that they be moved in a place where they would be more secure, and
Okay.
they're not exactly secure yet, but they've been brought
Okay.
upstairs, so that we'll have to figure out where we need
Okay.
to.
He wanted some direction, old chairs and tables. I thought the chairs were gonna stay there. The older chairs, they're similar to these.
They are, but we're talking about the ones from the school. There were some that were on the rack, the old metal ones.
Right.
Along with the old round tables and a few long ones. And Dave said he did inspect them and they were all in really good shape. So he was hoping to at least be able to hang on to them, but not in the library until we get the floor taken care of and all the other fixes.
Okay.
So we're still looking either for one of our trailers to
Okay.
have some room.
I don't know what's available down at the town garages.
Dave was supposed to be talking to.
Okay, we'll hold
Jeff
off, we'll
about
hold
it.
off any
Once you-
decision.
yeah.
Alright, we also has a small increased fee schedule for his department. We just recently did one this past fall. I'd like to have Woody come in and talk to us about that one personally. We're not gonna
Yeah.
discuss it without him being
Yeah.
here. Small, he's got a little bit of overtime this week, which is minimal. And, we have a vacancy at the town, transfer station, and we're gonna start advertising that again, Lean.
Mhm.
Okay, and number 3.
That's for a regular attendant position?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
We have a letter from the, Health and Human Services, about COVID. They have more mobile vaccine services still available. I don't think there's action needed upon this. I think COVID vaccine is well distributed to almost every private and public practice in town. I'm gonna recommend we do a pass on that one for
Yep.
mobile
I
clinic.
concur.
Okay. The Recreation Commission is interested in hearing about, they wanna do a little, proposed townwide survey. How would they would they mail this out, or what's the issue here, Lean?
Well, I think they were working with town clerk to, with the setup of their table, and they may just have it on the table when people, go to their.
I have no problems if they just put it on the table, I have no problems with that. It's basically, they wanna do a survey to get a pulse of the community of which direction they should go in organizing activities. But I have no
They're doing a
issue
great
with that.
job
Yeah,
right now.
they step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Okay. We got proposal one. I only have,
Merrimack County budget.
this is for the painting, for the.
That's the one I was telling you about, I didn't note it here, but it's
Okay,
been
right.
attached to something.
Okay, we have a, proposal, here for the painting of the upstairs is being paid for by the benefactor, the Casano.
Yeah, and Dave did send me an email Tuesday night saying that they met with the committee, and it was confirmed that the Casanos would pick up the tab for that, so I can reach out to them and let them know that
Okay,
they're all set to go.
I'm
with
gonna leave that for your action, for you there.
Yep.
The county of Merrimack, of course, we have to pay county taxes too, and just, they sent us their budget, and bottom line, their increase of 41,000, estimated impact to our town is 10 cents per thousand.
Right,
And, so, again, inflation keeps hitting everybody.
and typically when there's an increase that small, it's absorbed with the new property values and other, revenues, additional revenues that we receive, and right now we're at a good part, we're at a good point with our revenues for land use change tax, and, I anticipate seeing some, annual pickups from the
Right.
assessor that will help.
The issue is we didn't, okay, understood.
So the small impacts like that don't, they get absorbed, but with the new changes
Right.
throughout the year.
Okay. I think that's all on my, mailbox items, I'm gonna open up for public comment again.
No, thank you.
Bob, anything for public comment? Chief, we're gonna defer you, you're in non-public tonight.
Yeah, I just had some quick cruiser updates.
Okay. Yes,
So, my car that was hit is gonna be out of commission for approximately 2 months while it gets repaired. Yeah.
are they, just assembling it and then putting it back together, what are they doing with it? 2 months is a long time.
It is, the auto body shop we brought it to is very reputable, and they have a high volume of cars coming in and coming
Okay.
out. We wanted it done the right way, so it's
Okay.
going there.
So it's just more of a delay of getting in than,
Yeah, delay getting in, and then parts and pieces, obviously with the supply chain, still trying to catch up.
Okay.
They're hoping to get to it earlier, but
So bottom line, we don't wanna hire any new officers so we can maintain our police department cruisers.
the cruiser that was approved at town meeting last year,
Yes,
I hope will be finally coming in and hitting the road in the next few weeks, but you're talking over a year from, we had a series of mishaps in between there, but, I'm hoping that'll be on the road soon, and then I'm waiting on a final number, but it looks like I'm gonna be going with the same dealership down in Mass that we got our last car from. I confirmed that they have Ford SUVs on the lot, ready to rock and roll, so assuming the article passes at town meeting,
okay.
in best interest of the town, where I can get the car right away and I'm
Be
not.
prepared to talk to that.
Oh, I'm ready.
Not detailed, but, not detailed, but enough for the information, the voters have information.
Yeah, of course, of
And,
course.
I don't anticipate a, problem getting it passed, but the thing is, you gotta be able to at least articulate why we need it.
Of course, yeah.
And don't forget that. Don't forget, for the record, what was that?
I said, don't put it on social media.
Cue the misinformation.
Yeah.
That's all I have for cruisers, thank you.
Just remember, make sure the moderator knows we have to ask permission for you.
Yeah, he's aware, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And that's gotta be approved by, if it's not approved, I guess I'll speak to it.
Yeah, if one of you can speak for it, that's fine. I'll just stay on there, that's okay.
Okay, all right, I'm done with, all right, I'd like to make before we go to non-public, I'm just gonna go around the room, because we're gonna go to non-public, we have a hiring action to go through, so I'm gonna leave anything for the public. Okay, and I have nothing except that, I think, overall, this budget season, we did a lot of hard work, I think we did our town justice, and I did our employees justice, and, I'm looking forward to a good town meeting, and the voters, should be happy with what we, did for them. All right, and then I'd like to make a non-public motion, we go to non-public for RSA 91 alpha, subparagraph 3, Roman number 2, subparagraph B, requested by